it chapter by chapter, one bite at a time. So many adventures and mountains we can climb. Take it word for word, line by line, one bite at a time.
Welcome to Bite at a Time Books, where we read you your favorite classics one bite at a time. My name is Bree Carlile, and I love to read, and wanted to share my passion with listeners like you. If you want to know what's coming next and vote on upcoming books, sign up for our newsletter at biteatatimebooks.com. You'll also find our new t-shirts in the shop, including podcast shirts and quote shirts from your favorite classic novels. Be sure to follow my show on your favorite podcast platform so you get all the new episodes. You can find most of our links in the show notes, but also our website, biteatatimebooks.com, includes all of the links for our show, including to our Patreon to support the show, and YouTube, where we have special behind the narration of the episodes. We're part of the Bite at a Time Books Productions Network. If you'd also like to hear what inspired your favorite classic authors to write their novels, and what was going on in the world at the time, check out the Bite at a Time Books Behind the Story podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. Please note, while we try to keep the text as close to the original as possible, some words have been changed to honor the marginalized communities who've identified the words as harmful, and to stay in alignment with Bite at a Time Books' brand values. Today we'll be continuing Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. Chapter 10. Esse Paris, Esse Homo. To sum it all up once more, the Paris gamin of today, like the Gracilis of Rome in days gone by, is the infant populace with the wrinkle of the old world on its brow. The gamin is a grace to the nation, and at the same time a disease which must be cured. How? By light. Light renders healthy. Light kindles. All generous social irradiations spring from science, letters, arts, education. Make men make men. Give them light that they may warm you. Sooner or later, the splendid question of universal education will present itself with the irresistible authority of the absolute truth. And then, those who govern under the superintendence of the French idea will have to make this choice. The children of France, or the gamins of Paris. Flames in the light, or will-o'-the-wisps in the gloom. The gamin expresses Paris, and Paris expresses the world. For Paris is a total. Paris is the ceiling of the human race. The whole of this prodigious city is a foreshortening of dead manners and living manners. He who sees Paris thinks he sees the bottom of all history with heaven and constellations in the intervals. Paris has a capital, the town hall, a Parthenon, Notre Dame, a Mount Aventine, the Faubourg Saint-Antoine, as Encinerium, the Sorbonne of Pantheon, the Pantheon of Via Sacra, the Boulevard des Italiens, a Temple of the Winds, Opinion, and it replaces the Gemini by Ridicule. Its Major is called Fraud, its Travesterin is the man of the Faubourgs, its Hamel is the market porter. Its Lazarone is the paygrey. Its Cockney is the native of Ghent. Everything that exists elsewhere exists in Paris. The fishwoman of de Marseille can retort on the herb seller of Euripides. The Discombus Veringes lives again in the Foriso. The tightrope dancer. Their Pontiganus Miles could walk arm in arm with Verabansier, the grenadier. Demasippus, the second-hand dealer, would be happy among bric-a-brac merchants. Vincennes could grasp Socrates in its fist as just as Agora could imprison Diderot. Grimaude de la Reynier discovered larded roast beef as Curtillus invented roast hedgehog. We see the trapeze, which figures in Plautus, reappear under the vault of the Arc Leontuol. The sword-eater of Postlis, encountered by Appius, is a sword-swallower on the Pont Neuf, the nephew of Rameau and Cursilio. The parasite make a pair. Ergacellus could get himself presented to Chemisaris by Adigriphiel, the four dandies of Rome. Alcis Marcus, Phodromus, Diabolus, Argirippus descend from Quartil and Labatut's posting chaise. Ellis Gellis would halt no longer in front of Congrio, than would Charles Nodier in front of Ponchinello. Marteau is not a tigress, but Pardalisca was not a dragon. Pantolobus, the wag jeers in the Café Anglis at Nomentinus, the fast liver. Hermogenes is a tenor in the Champalices, and round him Thracius the beggar, clad like Bobache, takes up a collection. The boor who stops you by the button of your coat in the Tuileries make you repeat after a lapse of 2,000 years. Thus Brion's apostrophe. Quis proprenterum, me prehindit palio. The wine on the Serene is a parody of the wine of Alba. The red border of Destiers forms a balance to the great cutting of Bellatro. Para Lachaise exhales beneath nocturnal rains the same gleams as the Esquile, and the grave of the poor bought for 5 years is certainly the equivalent of the slave's hived coffin. Seek something that Paris has not. The vat of Trophonius contains nothing that is not in Mesmer's tub. Ergophilus lives again in Cagliostro. The Brahmin Vasaphanta becomes incarnate in the Count de Saint-Germain. The cemetery of Saint Medard works quite as good miracles as the mosque of Umani at Damascus. Paris has an Aesop Maillot, and a Canadia, Mademoiselle Le Mormond. It is terrified, like Delphus, at the fulgurating realities of the vision. It makes tables turn, as Dundada did tripods. It places the grisette on the throne, as Rome placed the courtesan there. And, taking it all together, if Louis XV is worse than Claudian, Madame Dewberry is better than Messalina. Paris combines in an unprecedented type, which has existed and which we have elbowed. Grecian nudity, the Hebraic ulcer, and the Gascon pun. It mingles Diogenes, Job, and Jack pudding, dresses up a spectre in old numbers of the Constitutional, and makes Shadrach Duclos. Although, Plutarch says, the tyrant never grows old. Rome under Sylla, as under Domitian, resigned itself, and willingly put water in its wine. The Tiber was a Lethe. If the rather doctrinary Eugulium, made of it by Verus Vibiscus, is to be credited, contra Gracchos Tiberum habemus, bamir Tiberum id est sedenotinam, oblivisci. Paris drinks 1 million liters of water a day, but that does not prevent it from occasionally beating the general alarm and ringing the tocsin. With that exception, Paris is amiable. It accepts everything royally. It is not too particular about its Venus. Its calipgy is Hottentot, provided that it is made to laugh. It condones. Ugliness cheers it. Deformity provokes it to laughter. Vice diverts it. Be eccentric, and you may be an eccentric. Even hypocrisy, that supreme cynicism, does not disgust it. It is so literary that it does not hold its nose before Basile, and is no more scandalized by the prayer of Tartuffe than Horace was repelled by the hiccup of Priapus. No trait of the universal face is lacking in the profile of Paris. The bal mobile is not the polymnia dance of the Geniclium, but the dealer in ladies wearing apparel. There devours the lorette with her eyes, exactly as the procuress Staphla lay in wait for the virgin Planiceum. The Barrière du Combat is not the Colosseum, but people are as ferocious there as though Caesar were looking on. A Syrian hostess was more grace than Mother Saguet, but if Virgil haunted the Roman wine shop, David Dangers, Balzac, and Charlotte have sat at the tables of Parisian taverns. Paris reigns. Geniuses flash forth there. The red tails prosper there. Adonai passes on his chariot with its 12 wheels of thunder and lightning. Silenus makes his entry there on his ass. For Silenus, red Ramponneau. Paris is the synonym of cosmos. Paris is Athens. Symbaris, Jerusalem, Panton. All civilizations are there in an abridged form. All barbarisms also. Paris would greatly regret it if it had not a guillotine. A little of the place de Grève is a good thing. What would all that eternal festival be without this seasoning? Our laws are wisely provided, and thanks to them, this blade drips on the Shrove Tuesday. Thank you for joining Bite at a Time Books today, while we read a bite of one of your favorite classics. Again, my name is Bree Carlile, and I hope you come back tomorrow for the next bite of Les Miserables. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter at biteatatimebooks.com and check out the shop. You can check out the show notes or our website, biteatatimebooks.com, for the rest of the links for our show. We'd love to hear from you on social media as well.